Hello everybody, greetings from Bucharest and apologies for not being able to attend live your session. My name is Carmen Avram, I'm a Romanian MEP, member of the S&D political group, and last year, after 27 years of journalism, I turned left and drove to Brussels for my very first experience in the European Parliament as a deputy. Being a member of the European Parliament could be a very tricky subject, depending on the person you ask. It's like in that very old joke, what your family thinks you're doing is saving the world. What your boss thinks you're doing is relaxing on a 5-year well-paid holiday. What your friends think you're doing is shopping on Avenue Louise. What your enemies hope you're doing is eating a lot of Belgian fries in Place Jourdan. What you're really doing is, well, all of the above, except the fries, and for the rest 98% of your time, running on the hallways with the mask on, talking simultaneously on 2 phones while dictating in the meantime to a third person the politically correct wording for an amendment. All of that, of course, in a very new language you've just learned, Bruxellois. As I said, this is a joke, most of it. For me, being elected as MEP was a dream come true, really. But I've never imagined it could turn in such a roller coaster, especially since we had the historic opportunity to be MEPs during the coronavirus pandemic. It is really challenging, but also it does feel like contributing to the saving of this unique project that was built 70 years ago, the European Union. And this is overwhelming in every meaning of the word. It has this feeling of having on your shoulder the fate of your family, of your city, of your country, of the Union, knowing that every amendment you write and every vote you cast are creating the future, your future. So if somebody asks you what the future is made of, you can answer it is made of millions of amendments that are being tailored, pampered, negotiated, over-negotiated, and then negotiated again, till every single word is correct, appropriated, legal, balanced, and most of all, covering every inch of our life. It's, if you want, the work of a watchmaker, because you need to put in motion every single wheel and every single mechanism so that the whole machinery can deliver a free, democratic, and value-based life for you. And it's a beautiful goal, you have to admit. Let me give you an example. Right now, I'm in between 2 voting sessions with a list of more than 1,200 amendments. Almost half of them are on a file I was a shadow rapporteur on a subject that was actually one of my missions for this term, the future EU forest strategy. We've started basically from 2 extremes. One arguing we should not touch forests at all. The other saying, since much of the humankind development was based on wood, we have to continue to cut as much as we can. What followed were 7 months of hard work, a lot of meetings, phone calls, emails, debates, worries, uncertainties, until we all managed to get to a compromise. Very important word, compromise. A compromise that turned this report into a very balanced and revolutionary one. It says that, yes, we have to protect the forest at any cost, because the new weather forecast is compelling and the clock is ticking. But we can also exploit the forest in such a manner that we can help new businesses develop, new jobs being created, and the humankind happily evolve in a healthier and danger-free environment. As you can see, I'm very proud of the outcome of this file. But let me tell you why. First of all, because it's what my country needs. Romania being an example of bad practices of illegal logging. And secondly, it gives us hope that you, the next generation, hearing Greta always admonishing us, this generation, for not doing enough, you'll be able to write on Greta's wall, please feel free to write, listen, you're wrong. The European Parliament really is saving the forests. That may sound easy, but keep in mind that we were doing this while working on many other different topics, putting in motion many other reports, some of them involving money, and you know how this could cost you if you're not paying attention. We were dealing also with the new recovery fund, with all the measures that had to be taken care of during the health crisis, with the future budget of the European Union, the crisis of the seasonal workers, the politics at home, and your personal stress to constantly protect your own health. If you ask me what one needs for this job, I'd say one thing: a pretty delicate balance between the pragmatism of the politician who always sees the bigger interest of a 450 million people market, and the empathy of the human being who understands the needs, the fears, the hopes, the cultures, the traditions, and the expectations of 450 million other human beings. You need to be above everybody else and at the same time in the middle of everybody else, because in your temporary greatness you have to always remember that you are also a consumer, a beneficiary of the policies, a voter, and a parent who will want for your children to live in an even better life than yourselves. This was the good news. The less good news is that you'll have to work hard, very long hours, travel a lot, not for fun, sometimes even for frustrating negotiations in non-EU countries. Let's say, for example, Turkey, which is threatening Greece with a war as we speak. You will have a lot of coffee meetings without coffee because there is simply no time. You will sometimes have to sanction a country that you've been to last summer and you loved it. You'll have to listen to long speeches and do it carefully, because in the very last sentence there could be something that could change the course of the Union or the world. You'll have to learn that a smile does not always mean you convinced them. You'll see the same bad airplane movie twice a week, and you'll have to buy a fluffy winter coat for July in Brussels. But good and bad news altogether. If you were to choose to become an MEP, I can guarantee you this is a job of a lifetime, because in this job you'll have the opportunity to create the future in every one of the 157,680,000 seconds of a 5-year term. Thank you. Good luck and be brave.